Whether you're beginning your analog audiophile journey or perhaps are in the middle of it, should you really splurge several thousands of dollars to enjoy the rich sound that vinyl records have to offer? I don't believe so. My case in point is the Jbl Tt350 Turntable, and could it be a contender if you're looking for a turntable in this price range? The Jbl Tt350 retails for just under $1,000 USD. It's a retro-styled direct drive turntable that comes pre-installed with a Technica AT AT95E moving magnet. The looks and the build quality is really good if you dig the retro vibe. It has this beautiful walnut veneered plinth, a nice tinted dust cover, an aluminum S-shaped tone arm with a removable head shell, selectable 33-45 RPM speeds, vertical tracking angle is adjustable, and damped adjustable feet to reduce vibration, and they allow the turntable to be leveled on surfaces that may not be exactly even. The specs state that the turntable weighs about 11 pounds, which is not really heavy. Some hobbyists think that heavy always means good sound quality. Having owned a very large variety of turntables in my audiophile journey, I've learned that high mass in itself does not necessarily equate to good sound quality. The proper allocation of mass in the right amounts and in the right areas is key for an instrument like a turntable that is essentially measuring the vibrations from grooves of a vinyl record. Let's talk about the Tt350's machined aluminum platter. It weighs nearly 5 pounds and is damped by some rubber-based compound to avoid the effects of ringing. And while the plinth looks beautiful with the nice walnut veneer, the base is solid MDF with a machined aluminum front panel plate that not only looks good but also adds stiffness and rigidity. The tone arm, while in operation, feels like there is no bearing slop, unlike some of the direct drive turntables I've owned in the past in this price range. And the nice part about having a detachable head shell is that if you're someone like me who likes to experiment with different cartridges, then this feature is really useful. The cartridge that comes supplied with the Tt350 is an Technica VM95E. It's a moving magnet design that costs about $70 USD MSRP. The E stands for elliptical stylus and has a healthy 4 millivolt output. And all the VM95 series carts share the same body essentially. So the stylus can be swapped out as an upgrade to either the Microline or the Shibata. More on this a bit later. No built-in phono preamp in the turntable. The turntable looks good and in operation feels like high quality. But how does it sound? Let me briefly tell you about my system setup so you can get some context as to how I use the turntable. I use the Tt350 in my budget system first. In this system, the phono stage is the Cambridge Audio Alba Duo. The amplifier is a Jbl Tt350 tube integrated, and the speakers are my Acoustic Energy AE100 Mark II. After listening to the system for several weeks, I installed the Technica OC9 XSL moving coil, which retails for about 800 USD on this TT. And I used it in my reference system with the Patterson JC3 Plus, phono stage chord amplification, and the Acoustic Energy Corinium speakers. More on that a bit later, but let's focus on the Tt350's performance in my system. I inspected the factory installation of the AT95E with my Dr. Fikert protractor and my stylus force gauge. Everything seemed in spec, and so I did not alter anything. Speed also seemed quite good both on 33 1/3 and 45 speeds when using the RPM phone app. Okay, sound quality time. Let's start with this album. It's called Super Blue by Freddie Hubbard, and this copy is usually available used, sometimes under $10. It's a Columbia label from 1978, and I picked this record to talk about not only because it has beautiful music, but because this record can sound edgy and fatiguing when played through some budget turntable cartridge setups that tend to emphasize the mid and high treble frequencies a bit. I was pleasantly surprised with the opening track on side 1 called Super Blue. Freddie Hubbard's trumpet and flugelhorn sounded smooth without any aggravating mid-treble issues. Ron Carter's bass lines sounded punchy and the timing seemed perfect. Jack DeJohnette plays the drums on this album, and the cymbal work had the right bit of warmth and sweetness, which is in stark contrast to some other direct drive turntables that I've had with the same AT95E installed. This same record gave me some listening fatigue from the sibilants within a few minutes on those setups. But on the TT350 and the AT95E combination, I actually enjoyed listening to the entire record. The second track on this album is called To Her Ladyship. It has George Benson playing guitar as a guest. The tone of the guitar has nice, smooth and weighty body and sounds sweet with a touch of warmth. The same with Kenny Barron playing the keyboards. There was a decent dose of the harmonics magic from those keyboard notes on this track. Side 2 has another beautiful song called The Surest Things Can Change. It starts with Hubert Laws playing the flute and Jack DeJohnette on cymbals, and the sound is very captivating with its warmth, and it's followed quickly by Freddie Hubbard's horn that has beautiful tone and body. I love this album in its entirety. If you like jazz from the late 70s with a little bit of funk and blues with the star-cast ensemble, check this album out. Next is the Best of Sade. This album has an assortment of 16 fantastic tracks by the awesome Sade Adu. Tracks like Hang On To Your Love, No Ordinary Love, Kiss of Life, Jezebel, they all sounded beautiful. The saxophone and her voice sounded warm with lovely tone. What you don't get, and frankly should not expect, is world-class bass definition and high-frequency air, especially when you're using a very modest budget cartridge like the AT95E. But hang in there, there's more to this story. As I said earlier on in the video, I installed the Audio Technica OC9 XSL on the TT350, and now we're talking somewhere close to world-class bass definition and high-frequency extension and air. The improvement in the mid-range resolution also was not subtle. The detail in the bass extension significantly improved. Again, the improvement was not subtle. And along with this detail and articulation in the bass came the dynamics. I say the same improvement was in the treble regions as well. Certain musical passages with the AT95E had somewhat of a one-note tone feel to it, masked in the warmth and the extreme frequencies. They now had more detail and expressiveness. And the best part was that the bass and the treble seemed like natural extensions of the mid-range. The fact that you can put on a cartridge that's 80% of the cost of the turntable itself tells you that this TT350 is designed quite well and is likely to stay for the journey as you upgrade your cartridge later on. I like the look and feel and the performance of this turntable so much that it might not be going back, and I will use it in my budget system. I'm also going to make another video of how the affordable Audio Technica AT95SH moving magnet performs, which is essentially the same body as the 95 SE, you see here, but with the Shibata stylus. That video will focus upon the sonics of the Audio Technica 95SH. Tell me in the comments below about your favorite direct drives or belt drive turntables at or around the 1000 USD mark, and what cartridges on them gave you some analog bliss.